I got Adam here of Hey Jack. That's cool, dude. I want to start right off the top because, like, I've always wondered where the hell did the name come from. What's the story with the name Hey Jack? That's a great band name. Talk to me.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Hey Jack was inspired by my family and then my own love of music and chasing your dreams. And I wanted something catchy and unique. I knew Hey Jack long term was going to be a group project, not just, I never wanted it to be about me sharing music, and I wanted it to be an experience, not just Adam's ego. And so I took a different approach and wanted a band name. Hey Jack's actually a large acronym of our kids. So Chantel and I, a big blended family, prior to our youngest being born. So our first, it's HEYJACK. So the H is for my daughter Hope. The EY phonetically works for Chantel's second daughter Ayla. Where are we at? That's the EY. J for Jackson, A for Abby, C for Connor, K for Kaya. Oh my God. And that's how it works out.
Oh man, talk about bringing the family into the business.
Hey Jack. Yeah,
Hey Jack. Well, I mean, let's start there then. That sounds like a pretty good motive for making music. Family, how much of that blends into the music aside from the name? What do you make music for? What's the whole purpose, dude?
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into that. That's a huge weighted question. There's a
You're welcome. Right off the bat.
There's like a personal therapy aspect to making music.
Yeah.
So there's a selfish, yes, music's for me. And there's a lot of songs that I'll write in my room and sitting on the couch having a coffee that will never see the light of day. And so there's a therapy aspect. But then music became bigger. I think there is a sharing, whether you go to concerts. If you don't go to concerts, you should be going to concerts. It's just good for your mental health. And that was a component too. It's just different struggles and points in life where I thought I'd hit rock bottom. I'm like, enough is enough. It's time to do something for me. And leave a legacy that I wanted to leave behind for my kids of going, it doesn't matter if music's their thing or if it's something else. Just go and chase those dreams. So some of that came from there. And then the message of music as well. So very intentional about like what songs will actually make it out to the public and what those messages of those songs convey. So a lot of Hey Jack music is about either funny things that the kids have done, their own interesting personality traits and quirks and joys of raising kids and my lens of that. So there's definitely like a parental perspective, different songs written in that light, but a lot of songs also written about human connection, disconnecting from being so internalized in our screens and with our heads down and just trapped in our own offices or our own homes. And a lot has to do with just getting outside and literally talking to one another, getting on a couch, going to a coffee shop, going to a concert, going out to the mountains that are so close by Calgary here, and just enjoying that. So a lot of that, the music that's written has also that message and motivation to say, hey, there's more to life than just your 9 to 5 and being stuck inside the loop.
That brings up something really interesting that I've always had as a pillar of everything MusicFit method, MusicFit, radio, the podcast, everything that I've ever done under that idea has related back to connection. And there's a principle that's really, really simple in a lot of musicians. I think that you explained this perfectly in just a beautiful poetic synopsis of that. It's like conversations plus connection equals conversion. When we think about how we want to show up in the world, and ultimate goal for most fans, and tell me if I'm wrong, or for most fans, most fans or most bands, is to make that connection with a fan, like somebody in the audience. If you can like empower them, impact their lives so that they think a little differently. That's a big reason why I make music. That's been a big theory of MusicFit. You said something also earlier in that bit that I wanted to pin. You said making the songs, which songs make it out. That's very interesting because I think that's news to a lot of artists. They just write a song and it just goes out. It's just what they do. Do you have like a process to the writing thing when we think about like the connection? How do we filter the HEYJACK songs to make it to the light of day? Because I'm sure there's a bunch that just sit in the archives, right?
That's true. There's songs that just sit there, and it's not that they're maybe never going to see the light of day. They're just not ready yet.
Yeah.
They're still in the cocoon
Okay.
of being written. Whether it's maybe they never got finished. Maybe it's like, oh, this guitar part works great, but the lyrics never did the guitar justice, or vice versa. You've got great lyrics and it doesn't. So some of it could be like that. Yeah. Some of it could be just like what the song message is about in general. And then I'm like, nah, that's not what I want to sing about. That's not the message. That's a HEYJACK message. This was, whether it's getting something off my chest and I'm frustrated about a situation or a person, just writing to vent. So there's songs like that will definitely maybe not make it through because that's not the message I want to portray. But there is a process in the writing and stuff from those songs that I'll still steal. Mm-hmm. I find it interesting with what's released because I think the best way to test some of it is just go play it live.
Right.
There's songs that I've doubted where all of a sudden you get in front of an audience and they're like, oh yeah, I had that stuck in my head the rest of the night. And you're like, oh, maybe I should reassess what this song is and is there more to it.
That brings me to the point of the conversation. How much of the song is really your responsibility is just to put the thing out as a piece of conversation. That's like up to them to have that conversation on their point. Does that play a role? How have you navigated that part? Because I know as an artist myself, I'm always like, oh God, I hope they like this. And then you worry so much about this thing, and that hesitancy is what actually stops this beautiful thing from impacting somebody, because it's like up to them, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if you go back to, there's a lot of dialogue when Rick Rubin released his book about it starts with the artist and that concept, and to an extent it really does. If I don't like the song, and if I'm not going to get up on stage and enjoy playing that song, how am I going to play it with any form of conviction where anyone's going to buy into it? If I don't believe what I'm actually singing about, I might as well not sing it. I even think that with cover songs, we pick cover songs based on fun or personal preference and likes. And if the message isn't there for something that's on brand, which over a few years you slowly discover what is the HEYJACK brand, and you're like, it's feel good rock. Shine FM has the safe and fun for the whole family. And I'm like, that's basically our slogan too. Because you can bring everybody out. And I think about that with writing too. So which songs do come out? One, I've got to love them. There's songs where you love it and you're like, oh yeah, this is great. And you just know that that's going to resonate well. And there's other songs where I've battled and I've put them into sets and they're not going to make a studio album yet, or they're not in the cut for our upcoming LP at least. And so, it just goes by the wayside. But I would never give up on a song. I think Rivers Como, and I was just listening to somebody else today, and their name is slipping my mind, so bad credits here.
Oh, good.
But Rivers Como, for sure, he archives everything with like, here's the beats per minute, here's the key I'm in. And it's not a no, it's just maybe not a not yet for that melodical idea. I was just thinking, there's so many things that, like, when working with relationships, whether it's band and solo artist, or working with like a touring manager or any sort of industry contact, that like it's not a no, it's a not right now. And just having that boundary and having okay, cool, I'm gonna put the walls up on this, it's just gonna go over here, and maybe later, like, we'll revisit this. Because the song, really, just getting that out, maybe that was the spark for the big thing, right? I find that that's sometimes even more powerful for us as artists. I'd love to know, just taking a detour here, what is your superpower, dude? Superpower.
Superpower. Yeah, we're building like an Avengers team here, obviously. What is your superpower? What's the one thing that is, it's an unfair advantage for you, and you don't want to even talk about it?
I think it's
just like too good.
Energy level. When it comes to when we're moving, when things are on the go, and you talk to people about being on the road or doing the tour life, and I found every show energized me for the next show, and it just starts creating a wave. And I think when we are in that state, in that flow state, in the right things you're supposed to be doing in life, your energy will complement that. So I think being in this music industry and fully committing to going, hey, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, provided an energetic spark that is probably unmatched for, like, you just show up to show up because you said you would show up, and you always have energy for that because it's in the right thing you're showing up for.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good point too, that we find talking to artist athletes. So they always think they have to keep up. And there's a very big difference. So it's like, yeah, every day is going to be a little different. As long as you get there and you're doing your very best, like you're 100% for the day, that's showing up. And when you do that, people start paying attention. It may take years. It could take weeks. It could take years. It could be just a couple of days. You might get real lucky because the right people see you showing up all the time. And I think men, especially in the music industry, they have this like defeated, oh man, they just feel they always have to be like the king. They always have to be like that. I got to be the best. I'm like, the best is different depending on every single day. So on the contrary, then, what would be the kryptonite for you? What is like the biggest thing that like gets in your way, the obstacle that most often appears? Is there any sort of bad habit that comes up?
Yeah, sometimes I feel just swamped by what could I do? There's so many things to do. Where do I put the energy?
Okay.
And so, like, I'm a big whiteboard to-do list.
Yeah.
And so if it goes on the to-do list, it's more likely to get done.
Yeah.
And go about that method and have a plan for the day. Like, what do I actually want to accomplish today? Otherwise, we've talked about it becomes 1 o'clock and the day's completely gone. You're like, okay, well, that was a waste.
Yeah, what did I do?
So there's a few things like that. I do want to loop back to one other thing too, not to drive in any way. When you talked about like the releasing and what that expectation is, because there is a thing with artists, like, you release this pride and joy. You're a child of a song to the digital world or to an audience. And to an audience, it's different when you're playing live. You can see somebody's physical reaction to the song. Are they liking it? Are they into it? Even if they don't, obviously they don't know your lyrics if you're first timing it for this new tune. But you can see, like, are they enjoying it? And then all of a sudden you get to the digital streaming platforms, the monsters, the Apple Music and Spotify, and you throw your track on there for the first time, and you're like, how do I crack this negative less than 1,000 streams? And so you talk about the once you release it, where does it go? And that's where you can't let your highs be too high and your lows be too low. With MusicFit, we talk a lot about the athletic side of things. And I think of all the hockey interviews, like, oh, we had a good second period. You had a few bad bounces go our way, but you can't get can't get too high, can't get too low. We just got to keep grinding away.
High and hard off the glass.
Exactly.
You got to clear out your zone.
Off the boards
off the boards out. Yeah. Just got to do the dump and chase.
And sometimes it does feel like that with the music industry, between releases and festival applications and trying to find what venue you're going to play at. And how do I get on a tour? Where do I open up for somebody else, and what's the next level for me to get to? And so I think can't let our highs be too high, can't let our lows be too low. So when you see a festival lineup come out, you can't go, oh, why did so-and-so get on this? You put your head down and you get to work again. And I think there's a concept of that with releasing music too. And you go, you've got to release it for yourself first. Because if you're releasing it based on, hey, I'm just releasing it for the cash cow and I'm going to get the numbers, it's never going to happen. And you hear so many podcasts and artists after artists where their big hit was the song that was the throwaway it was the last song that made the album. And we don't know the algorithm. We don't know what's going to catch lightning in a bottle or what's going to catch wildfire anymore. And so sometimes, to an extent, it's just absolutely doing that, releasing. You put an LP out and you got 10 songs and you go, okay, well, maybe one of these is that.
Just poof, here you go.
You don't know. And there's a release that says, hey, these are no longer mine, but to be enjoyed as a community when you do have music going out and when you do play live. So when people are clapping along or swaying along or dancing or jumping up and down, or you play a love song and you see that couple in the audience, and all of a sudden they look at each other, and you're like, "Hey, I'm helping you. I'm helping you tonight."
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all about those connection moments. Yeah. So I don't think as artists we can necessarily go, "Hey, we've released this. We're chasing the stream. We're chasing the number." That's great gratification, but I don't think it's going to change anything. Yeah. And so I think it has a lot to do with like what type of songs are you writing? What's the heart behind that song? How are you sharing that? And if your right heart and message is resonating with other people who need to hear those things, then you'll see success out of it. Yeah. Whether that's grand or maybe that's two people coming up to you being like, "Hey, that song hit me exactly in the feels where I needed it today because I was going through X, Y, or Z." So sometimes it's just about that.
Beautiful. Well, my dude, as we wind this down, I like to ask a few trademark signature questions. And the first one that comes to mind is, what's the latest bop that you've been listening to?
Songs. Yeah. It's not even a new release. Okay. I love Ariel Posen's Fade. All right. It was on the way here, so it's going to be stuck in my head.
Stuck forever.
What was the other one? We built this city.
No way.
You know why? It's because I do think that genuine artists doing, like performing genuine music and releasing that with actual community, we built this city on rock and roll. And that's what I think about like these conversations and the momentum going forward.
It's so funny. That's going to be stuck in my head forever. Okay, fair.
It's not like my current favorite song.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm trying to put that together. How do I tie that together? There's a way. Okay, interesting. When you think of the word rebel, I mean, that's a big pillar for us here. What's the earliest memory of you like rebelling against some sort of authority?
I feel like whether it was my choice or not, I feel as if being pulled out of the school system and homeschooled at a certain point was that start of rebellion. Because when my friends were in school doing science and socials, I was beating the crap out of a Pearl drum set in my room and learning to play guitar and learning to songwrite with the worst songs. Then I'm like, well, if I show this girl this song, earn some brownie points, maybe she'll like me or something. Right? It never worked. The song sucked.
But it honed your craft.
And all for the better, right?
Yeah, you got better.
Where you are now, songwriting's better.
Adversity.
The person I'm with is
resilience,
better. All those things, right?
It's a life lesson. Yeah.
So timing is everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. But I'd say that's like the early sense of rebellion is probably just being pulled out of the system a little bit, which gave me the opportunity to grow individually as an artist. And then from there, spurred into opportunities to connect with different people who I don't want to say in a negative way, be like, not homeschoolers, bunch of nerds. No. I'm like, I'm very proud to be homeschooled.
Absolutely. It's taking a different shape these days, too. So it's actually kind of a badge now. It's like, you kind of want to be that way after everything. Right?
I was homeschooled and I can socialize.
Oh, my God. You are a unicorn. I know. All right. Fair. But
that's the early rebellion.
I like that because it transfers. And so much of us in our younger years, like when I look back, I'm like, oh, I was doing this when I was a kid, man. Like I was the party. I was always trying to host things. I was always trying to just like get people around and just like connect. And there was usually music or sports involved. And look at us now. It's just like, wow, I had that dream when I was like 8. That's great.
It's like somebody explained to me once, when you're sort of in that stream or in that system and you haven't seen it from the outside, it's like when you're living in the swamp, the smell of the swamp gets normal.
That's normal.
And then you go away for a bit and you come back and you're like, oh, gross, what stinks? And you're like, this is what I was living in? Yeah. And I sort of view some of our systems that go on sort of that same way. So that rebellious spirit probably does, again, come from that homeschool thing. Same thing with the desire to be an entrepreneur and be in the music business. We say artists and we go, music business, but we want to leave out the business side all the time. Yeah. And it's like there is a rebellion to go, quit your 9 to 5 and artistically try to make a living off things. What does that look like?
Wild. Yeah.
It's an adventure.
All right. Well, the last question then, as a great segue, what does one of our taglines, of course, at MusicFit is make music move people. What does that mean to you? How does your music move people?
Yeah. There's different songs that move people in different ways. So at the beginning, I talked about songs that are written where it's like parenting perspectives. I talk about my oldest daughter, because around the house as a teenager, she responds, "What?" Because she never heard us in the first place. And I know because she's a teenager and has all the answers. And as we intro those songs and you see parents in the audience are like, "Oh, I got one of those too." There's moments like that. So that is a connection thing
cool.
on like a human to human level with a song that's written.
It's a universal message, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So there's those.
Yeah.
And then there's the deeper cut songs where it's like, let's talk about love. Let's talk about hard times and family dynamics and scars that we've gone through. And some people will resonate that. Then there's that like third type of fun, feel good Hey Jack song as well, which is a lot of where we sit in, where it talks about like just getting outside and looking at the person to the left and right of you, and you know, don't be afraid to smile. Like have a good time in life, and don't take life so seriously, and learn to savor the moments and learn to be present, not just thinking, oh, what do I got coming next, or I can't believe I did that last. Learn how to be here.
That's so important. There's presence, the gift of us all. Well, dude, you were a treat. Thank you so much for being here on the show. I'm excited to create some more magic with you. I know we were thinking about, would you like to close with a song?
We can do a Hey Jack too. Okay. Do like a Time Wasted. Or
Time Wasted.
Aquarium.
Time Wasted. That sounds great.